Hello everyone, Mike here, and today we are taking a look at 10 of the worst big reveals in wrestling. This is from What Culture Wrestling, and before watching it, I gotta assume we're probably gonna have things like Hornswoggle being announced as Vince's son when it was originally supposed to be Mr. Kennedy, but the gobbledygooker, I'm assuming, is going to be in there because that was a pretty poorly done reveal. And if I took a few moments to think about it, I'd probably come up with some more, but I don't really need to because they're giving us a list here. That's the whole point. So let's get in here and see what terrible reveals we've got here. All right. Play.
I don't know about you, but I love a good wrestling reveal. Hulk
Indeed.
Hogan is the third man.
Oh, that was a good one.
Nice. The Priest is Eric Bischoff.
That was actually
Sign
pretty
me
clever.
up. Triple H's plan B, just hook it to my veins. Of course, nobody hits a home run every time. I'm sure it's difficult to write consistently satisfying angles in such a dynamic environment. But no matter the reason, pro wrestling has seen plenty of anticlimactic, disappointing, downright
Mr.
silly
America
reveals in storylines. With that in mind,
See,
I'm
the
Adam
DDP
Wilborn
one
from What Culture.
could
and
have
these are the
worked
10
potentially
worst big reveals
if they,
in wrestling history.
not
Number
completely
10,
buried
Kevin
him.
Nash texts himself.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Michael Hamlet, but Kevin Nash had
remember
absolutely no
this.
business being a part of this storyline. CM Punk was the hottest act in wrestling in 2011, so the exact wrong thing to do was put him in a rivalry with a 52-year-old semi-retired giant. Nevertheless, Nash attacked Punk following his WWE Championship victory over John Cena at 2011 SummerSlam, allowing Alberto Del Rio to cash in his Money in the Bank contract on the downed Punk. Summer of Punk, everybody! The next night on Raw, Nash claimed that he'd received a text from Triple H, which instructed him to attack whoever won. Over time, it was revealed that the person who had used Triple H's cell phone to text Nash was Kevin Nash himself.
Yeah, that
First
was
of all,
that was pretty
who takes
stupid.
someone else's phone to text themselves? Second of all, why would they put Nash in this storyline if he wasn't medically cleared to wrestle? And thirdly, why was Kevin Nash put into this storyline at all? Fools! Number 9, 2 Aces and Eights reveals. The Aces and Eights story arc had a lot of
dragged.
potential when it started.
That
However,
that
when they
story
began
just
revealing
dragged.
members' identities, the storyline kind of started to jump the shark. Let's start with Bully Ray, a man who'd been fighting relentlessly
Yeah, they've
against
been building
Aces
him
and
up
Eights
as a good
for
top
months,
babyface.
senselessly announcing that he'd been leading the Renegade Biker Act this entire time. Why? I don't know. A few months later, TNA
Ask Simon
started
Miller.
critically tweeting and posting videos as a so-called hashtag August 1 warning, who eventually revealed himself to be MMA star Tito Ortiz. In theory, this isn't a terrible reveal, but it was one in execution, as the fans reacted like this. Number 8. Hornswoggle McMahon. In the course
You could probably
of 2
include a
years,
lot of
Vince McMahon
Hornswoggle
booked
bits.
himself
Like
to wrestle
Hornswoggle
Raw,
being the anonymous
feuded
general
with
manager
current
might
US
be in here.
President Donald Trump, died and then immediately came back to life due to the real-life death of Chris Benoit, and even falsely promised to give away $1 million on an episode of Raw. But no Vince McMahon storyline from this era can be possibly worse than the illegitimate son angle. McMahon spent the latter half of the summer of 2007 trying to find out the identity of his illegitimate son. To WWE's credit, this storyline was initially going to serve as a launching pad for Mr. Kennedy, who would use his who would use his family status to rise to main event status,
And then
much like
Kennedy
Triple
got
H
himself in
did
trouble.
in the early noughties. Unfortunately for them, Kennedy was busted buying steroids, so WWE had to scramble for a new illegitimate son. And their choice was Hornswoggle. So instead of using this opportunity to spearhead someone else's main event push instead of Mr. Kennedy, WWE decided to point and laugh at us for being invested in this storyline.
And of course, then they revealed that
Still, this isn't
it
even the
wasn't
worst big reveal.
that
involving
Hornswoggle wasn't
Hornswoggle.
McMahon's son, but was in
Number
fact
7,
Finley's
who
son.
ran over Stone Cold? By the end of 1999, Stone Cold Steve Austin was in rough shape. Bothered by complications from his initial neck injury at 1997 SummerSlam, Austin required 9 months of rehab to recover. To explain his absence, WWE booked Austin to get hit by a car in the parking lot at 1999 Survivor Series. So, for nearly a year, the burning question on everyone's mind was who ran over Stone Cold Triple H. Commissioner Mick Foley revealed Triple H that the man, Triple H, behind the wheel was
Rikishi.
Yeah, Rikishi, the funny, portly man who dances around and rubs his arse in people's faces. That Rikishi. Yeah, nobody bought this guy as a heel. While Rikishi was an imposing big man with admirable agility, he did not have the mic skills nor the charisma of a top guy, and his push fell flat almost immediately. In an effort to correct their misdeeds, WWE decided to take the heat off Rikishi by revealing that it was, in fact, Triple H who'd masterminded this scheme all along. Rikishi would remain a heel for a couple more months after this, but was never considered a legitimate threat again. Number 6, the Yeti. At Halloween
Good pronunciation.
Hogan dropped the title via DQ to the debuting Giant, aka Big Show, Andre the Giant's kayfabe son, and the Dungeon of Doom's newest recruit. But the Taskmaster had yet another trick up his sleeve, an insurance policy. Specifically, a Yeti that had been kept preserved in a block of ice. In the ensuing bedlam, out came the so-called
It's the Yeti!
to make a save for the dungeon. I say so-called because he looked more like a mummy than an actual Yeti. While the man under the bandages, Ron Rice, was a legitimate 7'1", his awful aesthetic and his questionable bear hug on Hogan made him an instant laughingstock. Immediately after the pay-per-view, WCW
Super
changed
Ninja.
its attire to that of a masked ninja, but
And
inexplicably
then he
kept
became
the Yeti moniker. He would spend his
Yeah,
remaining
he'd become
years
part
with
of the flock.
company, shuffling through various names and gimmicks, all of whom, were jobbers. Number 5, Razor Ramon and Diesel. The hottest story in wrestling in 1996 was the defection of Scott Hall, WWF's Razor Ramon, and Kevin Nash, WWF's Diesel, to rival promotion WCW. Excitement reached a fever pitch when WWF's play-by-play announcer Jim Ross announced that he was bringing back Diesel and Razor Ramon, as WWF fans genuinely believed they were getting the two megastars back.
And
Sadly,
Nash and Hall
what
got a
followed
lot of
was
money
an
out of it because
ill-advised
WCW
heel
thought they
turn
were leaving.
for Ross. Thankfully, he still did bring back Razor Ramon and Diesel. Well, two guys cosplaying as Razor Ramon and Diesel anyway.
One of which
Not
was
only
Kane,
did neither man
so
look like the
there's
original men in
something.
the gimmicks, they couldn't accurately portray them either. The phony Razor, Rick Bogner, was easily the worst of the two, possessing absolutely zero charisma nor discernible physique. The man playing Diesel, Glenn Jacobs, may have been more talented and imposing than his counterpart. He simply didn't fit the role of Big Daddy Cool. What happened to him? Mercifully, placeholders were quickly buried by both the booking and commentary teams, so the act was not long for TV. Number 4, the anonymous Raw
It's time for
GM.
more
The
Hornswoggle.
anonymous Raw GM saga was, well, stupid enough on its own, but this reveal catapulted it to an unprecedented level of idiocy. From 2010 to 2011, we were given plenty of teasers regarding the identity of the person behind this computer. Among the tease names were Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Triple H, and even Stone Cold Steve Austin. It wasn't until the summer of 2012 when we'd finally get our answer during a comedy segment. See where this is headed? You guessed it, it was Hornswoggle. Yes, it was the
It's always
absolute
Hornswoggle.
antithesis of comedy. The murderer of prestige, the living, breathing manifestation of fan apathy himself, Hornswoggle. They could have saved this already dumb angle with a massive reveal, like literally any of the names they teased. Instead, they just bloody shoehorn Hornswoggle in because, I don't know, comedy or
They
something.
couldn't think of anything better.
I love you, mate.
That's what
but
they do.
this was a
They
load
can't think of something better, so they put
Number
Hornswoggle.
3, the Shockmaster. In 1993, Sting was set to captain the team of Davey
Still
Boy
waiting
Smith,
for the
Road
gobbledygooker.
Warrior Hawk, and Dustin Rhodes for a War Games match with Sid Vicious, Vader, and Harlem Heat. Unfortunately for Sting, Hawk got for real injured shortly before the match was set to take place. But luckily for him, he found a replacement that would shock the world. Or so he acclaimed. His new teammate was called the Shockmaster, portrayed by Fred Ottman, who previously wrestled as Tugboat and Typhoon in the WWF. For literally no discernible reason, WCW decided that the Shockmaster should wear a Star Wars Stormtrooper helmet covered in paint and glitter. As he burst through the wall for his grand entrance, he tripped over a board, fell flat on his face, and lost his helmet in the process. Ottman shuffled back to his
I
feet,
remember watching
pulling the
this
helmet back
live.
onto his head and standing menacingly in an
And
attempt
I-
to salvage the
I don't
scene.
think I
There's no
really
turning
understood
back
what just
now,
happened.
especially with
I was
announcing
too
Ole
much in
Anderson
shock, like,
providing his
wait,
voiceover
what?
in the background. Perhaps this reveal wouldn't have been quite as awful had Shockmaster not fallen on his f***ing ass, as British Bulldog quipped at the time. No, wait, yeah, it still would have. After all, you can't expect to be taken seriously while wearing a sparkly Stormtrooper helmet. Number 2, it's me,
Oh,
Austin.
yeah.
Who was
So is
the
Gobbledygooker number
Undertaker's
1? I mean, you
power
can't
power?
not have the
Oh, sorry,
Gobbledygooker.
higher power. Rumors swirled with names like
Yeah,
Jake
Jake.
Roberts
I
and
remember
Don
Jake.
Callis among the most popular.
Really?
But in
Don-
June of 1999,
Okay. I hadn't heard Don
mysterious
Callis,
Overlord
but I could see
finally
it.
revealed himself to be none other than
It was Vince, of course.
Vince.
It was Hornswoggle!
First off, how in the world does this make any sense? Why would Vince be in cahoots with his son, who stole his throne, and a group of satanic zealots hell-bent on torturing his own daughter? The best possible answer to this is that he was trying to stick it to Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was squabbling with both the corporation and the ministry at the time. So, just to get back at Austin, Vince fed Ryan Shamrock to the ministry, had his own daughter kidnapped and nearly
It should have been
forced into
Jake.
marriage.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
and
Jake
had the
was kind of
Big
a
Boss
mess
Man
at the time, but-
bloody hanged. It's a bit overkill, don't you think? Number 1.
Yes!
The Gobbledygooker.
I called
Beginning
it!
in the spring of 1990, a giant egg began
Spring?
appearing on
I don't
the
think it was
stage
that
at
early.
WWF events.
Yeah,
In
it
the months
wasn't
that
the
followed,
spring. It
fans
was
speculated
more into
about
the
what could
autumn
possibly be
era.
inside the egg. Could it be a new superstar, a returning superstar? What could
I
this
think
big
I heard someone that was
surprise
originally going to be
well,
The
fans
Undertaker.
got their answer at that
Except
year's
he was
Survivor
going to
Series
be,
when the egg
he's going to have his
finally
head
hatched
shaved,
to
and he was going to be
reveal
called the
Gobbledygooker.
Eggman, or something like that.
That's right. This egg, which fans had been curious about for months, ended up being used to debut a wrestling turkey. Reception to the
Technically,
gimmick
I
was
don't
so
think he ever actually
nuclear that
wrestled
the man
outside
beneath
of,
the feathers, Hector Guerrero, was
gimmick
fired
battle
from the
royal at
company
WrestleMania
just a month
17.
later. But he wasn't just fired, they ghosted him. They stopped paying him, they stopped calling him, they literally wanted nothing to do with the Gooker anymore. And rightfully so, to be fair, because this was really, really, really dumb. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Plus, you can check out more videos here. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, so most of the ones I figured would be on there were on there. Trying to think if there's anything that they would have missed that I think should have been there, but I think they had a pretty good set. Yeah, like I said, as far as Gobbledygooker, word I've heard is that it was going to be The Undertaker. He was going to be bald-headed. He was going to be like the Eggman or something to that effect. Then Vince actually got a look at him and realized, holy crap, we can't do that with this guy. Look at him. We've got to do something better. And thus he ended up becoming The Undertaker, and, rest is history, while poor Hector Guerrero got the Gobbledygooker. Actually kind of makes me think of the whole Terry Taylor, Kurt Hennig, who was supposed to be Mr. Perfect thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I've got on this one. So, until next time, thanks for being part of my geek world.